All right, so your lesson for tonight is 3-3, solving for a variable. So make sure you take good notes and bring them to class with you tomorrow. Here's your vocabulary page, and at the bottom you have steps for solving a variable. So make sure you copy these 2 definitions down about a formula and then a literal equation, and then make sure you copy down the steps for solving for a variable. We'll use them in the example problems. Okay, example 1. The formula for a Fahrenheit temperature in terms of degrees Celsius is F equals 9/5 C plus 32. Solve for C. So in this equation, we want to isolate the variable C. So the first thing that I'm going to do to solve for C is I'm going to subtract 32 from both sides. So when I do that, on the left-hand side, I'll get F minus 32, and on the right-hand side, I'll get 9/5 C. And so I want to continue to isolate the C. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 9/5, which is 5/9. 5/9. And so when I do that, I'm going to end up with C is equal to 5/9 times F minus 32. And I want to write this with the C on the left-hand side, so I move everything else to the right. And so I know I'm done because I have C by itself, and I have everything else on the right-hand side. Next example, example 2. The formula for a person's typing speed is given, where S is speed in words per minute, W is number of words typed, E is number of errors, and M is number of minutes typing. Solve for W. So what is important here is that you know what you're solving for. Okay? It's not important what all the letters mean. Okay? So we want to solve for W. So first I'm going to rewrite the problem. And then I'm going to begin to isolate the W. So I want to get the W by itself. So the very first thing I'm going to do is do the reverse order of operations. I'm going to multiply both sides by M. So when I multiply both sides by M, on the left-hand side I'll get SM, and on the right-hand side I will get W minus 10E. The M's will cancel. And then the last thing I want to do in order to isolate for W is I'm going to add 10E to both sides. I'm going to add 10E to both sides. And so when I do that, I will get W on the right-hand side and SM plus 10E on the left-hand side. And I want to rewrite that the correct way. So I get SM plus 10E on the right and W on the left. So this would be the correct answer for solving for W. Notice that the variables didn't change. The numbers, the letters S, M, and E, they're not important. We never need to know what they are. We just have to be able to move them. So we need to know their relationship to each other. There's 2 examples, examples 3 and 4. I want you to pause it and try to solve for the letters that are listed. So in number 3, you're going to solve for M. In number 4, you're going to solve for K. So after you've paused it, here's the answer for each one of these. And in the first one, or in number 3, you get that M is equal to 5 plus N. In the second one, you get that K is equal to M over X. Okay? So those are some long examples, some practice problems for you to be able to solve. Okay, the last thing is at the top right corner of your notes, I want you to put the logo of your favorite college football team. If you don't have one, then I want you to put Georgia, draw that G in the top right corner.